And now for our next news special report.
In today's report, we're diving into a pivotal decision that's shaking the very foundations of our nation's border policies. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is stepping up, taking matters into his own hands with a groundbreaking strategy that's bound to send shockwaves across the political landscape. Imagine a Texas where state officers have the authority to arrest illegal aliens, a bold defiance against the Biden administration's stance. This isn't just another policy shift. It's a declaration of intent, a clear message that Texas won't stand idle amidst a surging tide of illegal immigration. And while this move promises to reshape the border enforcement narrative, it also sets the stage for an epic showdown with federal authorities. So what does it mean for the future of immigration in America? Stay tuned as we unravel the layers of this complex story. You can't afford to miss our exclusive insight and the compelling final thought that will leave you pondering the true essence of American border security. Now, before we delve into today's critical report, let's take a moment. Just like the unwavering news coverage we provide, the value of gold remains steadfast in turbulent times. With gold soaring past $2,000 an ounce, it's akin to Texas' robust stance against illegal immigration under Governor Abbott's leadership. The economic turbulence, much like the border crisis, prompts smart, secure choices. Financial institutions like Deutsche Bank and J.P. Morgan predict significant rate cuts reminiscent of Abbott's decisive measure against illegal entry. Remember Trump's caution about the U.S. dollar losing its world standard status? It's a parallel to our border security concerns. So protect your assets with the Patriot Gold Group and mention Next News for premier service. Call 888-857-9437 for a free investor guide. Just like Texas safeguards its borders, safeguard your financial future. Now, Governor Greg Abbott of Texas has taken a significant step forward in the fight against illegal immigration. In a bold move, Abbott has announced sweeping measures that will empower state peace officers to arrest and detain illegal aliens. This decision comes as a direct challenge to the Biden administration's approach to immigration enforcement and signals a new era in the state effort to secure its borders. The clash between Texas and the Biden administration isn't new. The federal government has repeatedly sued Texas over its initiatives to stem the flow of migrants. However, the state has been resolute, setting up both water and land-based barriers to curb illegal entry. This ongoing battle exemplifies the tension between state and federal authorities over immigration control. And the situation reached new heights on Friday when an appeals court ruled against Texas, ordering the removal of water-based barriers in the Rio Grande. Now, this decision came after a previous ruling that allowed the state to keep the barriers pending appeal. Despite the setback, Governor Abbott remains undeterred in his mission to secure the Texas border. His plan isn't just about erecting physical barriers. It's a comprehensive strategy to address the influx of illegal immigrants. The governor's assessment of the situation is clear. The number of illegal crossings is alarmingly high, primarily due to the policies of the Biden administration, which he believes are too lenient and encourage illegal entry. Watch.
New efforts this morning to stop Texas from defending itself from the floating barrier installed back in July crossing the border illegally. Texas has borne much of the brunt of Biden's open border policy, which has seen a record 8 million illegal border crossings under the Biden administration. Border sources telling Fox News' Griff Jenkins for the fiscal year, nearly 475,000 migrants have been encountered at the border, with just over an additional 60,000 gotaways. This is just since the end of October. In addition to the floating barrier and in an effort to alleviate the drain on financial and social resources in Texas, the governor has also sent nearly 70,000 migrants on buses to sanctuary cities across the country. Joining me right now with the state's response is Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Governor, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Maria.
How will you respond to this federal appeals court demanding you remove those buoys from the River Grande?
Listen, with all due respect, the appeals court got it wrong, and the reason is because they relied upon a law more than 100 years old, saying that we could not deploy these buoys in the water, preventing people from entering the United States illegally, because the waterway is categorized as a navigable waterway, which is absurd because it is not navigable by definition when you have literally thousands of people able to walk across it every single day. It's not used for transportation of boats up and down that riverway, and so it's completely not navigable. We had a majority Democrats who were on that panel making that decision, what Texas is going to be doing, and we will be seeking what's called an en banc ruling by the entire Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. And if we lose there, we will be taking that to the United States Supreme Court, because we know Texas has the right to legally deploy those buoys in the water to prevent people from entering our country and our state illegally.
So you're not backing down, and you're prepared to take this all the way up to the Supreme Court then?
Absolutely.
Under Abbott's leadership, Texas has made significant strides in border security. The construction of walls and razor wire barriers has shifted the dynamics of illegal entry points, forcing cartels to alter their routes. These measures have led to a notable decrease in illegal crossings in Texas, while other sectors like Tucson and San Diego now face increased pressure. But the governor is not stopping there. He's set to sign a new law that will criminalize illegal entry into Texas from another country. This law, which is suspected to come into effect in 2 weeks, will give every peace officer in the state the authority to arrest individuals who enter illegally. This is a clear statement that Texas will not rely solely on federal efforts to control its borders. Watch.
Okay. Let me get your take on the assessment today of the southern border. We know that we've seen new numbers of would-be terrorists coming through. What can you tell us about the apprehensions today? Is it the worst it's been, or has it been alleviated a bit?
Well, I'll tell you a couple of things very interesting. For one, the problem is extraordinarily bad. The numbers are high, and it's because Joe Biden continues to lay out the welcome mat, welcoming illegal immigrants into the United States of America. That said, what we've seen in our numbers in the state of Texas is because of the wall that we have built, because of these razor wire barriers that we have built, Texas is now no longer the number one illegal entry point. It is the Tucson sector, the San Diego sector, and other states. And Texas is causing the cartels to have to alter their routes, their routes where people are coming across the border illegally. That said, Texas is having to step up and do even more to make sure that we deny illegal entry into the state of Texas. And as a result, Maria, in 2 weeks, I'll be signing a new law in the state of Texas that will make it illegal for people to enter the state of Texas from another country illegally, and authorizing every peace officer in the state of Texas to arrest those people entering our country illegally.
The implications of this new law are far-reaching. If enacted, it will likely lead to another legal showdown with the Biden administration, which has consistently argued that immigration enforcement falls under federal jurisdiction. This tension highlights the broader debate on states' rights and federal overreach, especially concerning immigration policy. And Abbott's approach is not without its critics. Many argue that such measures are too harsh and could lead to racial profiling and discrimination. Others believe that immigration is a federal issue and that states should not interfere. However, Abbott and his supporters contend that with the federal government failing to adequately address the crisis, Texas has no choice but to take action. The governor's strategy also includes proactive measures beyond law enforcement. Last year, Texas reversed its course by sending tens of thousands of migrants to so-called sanctuary cities by Democrat officials. This move was met with criticism from those cities, but Abbott stands by his decision, arguing that it highlights the burden Texas bears due to federal inaction. And to further strengthen border security, Texas deployed deterrence buoys in the Rio Grande earlier this year. However, the Department of Justice challenged the legality of these barriers, arguing that building any structure in U.S. waters requires permission from the United States Army Corps of Engineers. This legal battle reached the Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, which ruled in favor of the Biden administration, demanding removal of those barriers. And despite these challenges, Abbott is resolute. He's expressed his willingness to take the issue all the way to the Supreme Court if necessary, emphasizing his commitment to securing the Texas borders. This determination is reflective of a broader sentiment among many Americans who feel that border security is paramount to national security. And the statistics paint a concerning picture. According to numbers from the Federation for American Immigration Reform in Yale University, between 16.8 million and 29 million illegal migrants currently live in the United States. About 3.8 million of these migrants have entered the country under President Biden's administration, overwhelming U.S. Border Patrol authorities. These figures underscore the urgency of the situation and the need for effective border control measures. And border sources have reported nearly 475,000 migrant encounters and an additional 60,000 gotaways in the fiscal year. Some of these individuals are reportedly on the FBI terror watch list, raising serious security concerns. Now, this data highlights the complexity of the immigration issue and the challenges faced by border enforcement agencies. However, under Abbott's leadership, Texas has shown a willingness to confront these challenges head-on. By taking decisive action and implementing innovative strategies, the state is setting a precedent for others to follow. The governor's approach may be controversial, but it's a response to a crisis that he believes requires immediate and effective action. As we wrap up this report, it's essential to reflect on the significance of these developments. If you found value in this analysis, don't forget to tap subscribe. Texas' stand on border security is not just a state issue, it's a national concern that affects all of us. Governor Abbott's measures represent a bold step in addressing a problem that has long plagued our republic. In closing, Governor Abbott's decisive border measures are more than just a policy shift. They're a clarion call for the sanctity of our republic's borders. The story matters deeply to every American because it's about the security and integrity of our nation. It's a testament to the resolve of Texas in the face of overwhelming challenges. Amidst a backdrop of federal inaction, Texas stands as a beacon of proactive enforcement, demonstrating that when the stakes are high, bold action is not just necessary, it's imperative. And Abbott's stance is not just about immigration, it's about upholding the rule of law, preserving our national sovereignty, and protecting the safety of every citizen. This report isn't just about Texas. It's a narrative on the resilience and spirit of America. It's a story of a state taking a stand, a narrative that resonates with the core values of our great republic.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.